Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about the full moon in Scorpio that's happening on May 18th. That's gonna be on Saturday. It's gonna be directly opposing the sun in Taurus, which is talking about commitments. It's also talking about belief systems, of course, as we know, comfort levels, money, security, and what we're able to provide for ourselves that we feel like we can't go without, right? Also, it's talking about power struggles, the past, how we view the past, how the past has affected us emotionally, and how we have developed passive aggressive tendencies out of that, and how we might be triggered by others, okay? And I think that we are starting to revisit that energy right now because the moon is in Libra. It was yesterday, today, and part of yesterday. Tomorrow it'll still be there, maybe when we wake up here on the East Coast. And then at some point it'll be void, of course. And then it will then transit into Scorpio, where we'll have the full moon a little bit later, on Saturday, I believe. But Scorpio is talking about power, it's talking about desire, it's also talking about forgiveness, what's being shed light on here that needs a detoxification. Do you need to detox? Do you need to detox your body? We're in Taurus season, and Taurus is talking about your physical body and how you, you know, treat that based on how aware you are of it, right? Um, it's also talking about body image as well. Um, and it is talking about sensuality as well, too. How comfortable are you with your body? How comfortable are you with your money? How secure are you with your money, your body? How secure are you within your environment? You know what I mean? How do you treat the environment? That's a direct reflection on how you feel inside, right? It really is. And we just had Earth Day, it's Taurus season. Um, and we really don't want to do things that are destructive, and we don't want to be insensitive about ways that we might be destructive inadvertently when we are attaching ourselves, or people are attached to the circumstances that surround us. Okay? So we have to understand then, when we are in an atmosphere or an environment that we don't have any control over or power over, how can we implement some structures that will bring about stability for us in our everyday lives, that will determine how secure we might feel, which will then parlay into how confident we are based on our reality that we have set in place, based on our awareness and our need to satisfy a lack that we might have inside, right? It's almost like Scorpio is the internal, right? That subconscious, and Taurus is the external, very 3D, but then Taurus can be very spiritual too, because it rules religion, right? So we're thinking about that, belief systems. What do you believe? How are your belief systems different than others? How are we going to release our need to control how other people might see us, or how, we might see them, right? So how we see them is really how we're being triggered, and how they see us is sometimes how they're being triggered, usually. You know what I mean? Because sometimes your perception of someone isn't actually what that is, but then sometimes it is, because you're picking up on that energy, right? You're probably tapping into that person's moon, right? Because Scorpio is talking about depth. And the Scorpio moon, I know because I've dated someone who has a Scorpio moon, and I have really great friends, best friends, who have Scorpio moons and who are Scorpios. The Scorpio moon can be very intense. I've experienced different levels of intensity from those with Scorpio moons that I am close to. I know people with Scorpio moons that I'm not close to, or mean, you know what I mean? I'm not like super duper close to. But it definitely is one of extreme depth, the awareness of the weakness, right? And it almost is a very traumatic placement for the moon. The moon is in its fall in Scorpio, and the moon is about emotions and receptivity and expressing those emotions and sharing those things and evolving from that, right? The moon is, you know, it rules Cancer, right? And Cancer is talking about security, but is also talking about emotional security and responding to changes that occur within you subconsciously, right? Because it's like bringing your awareness to like what's going on around you, but it has to like strike the alarm like and, and like internally, right? So that you feel it from the inside, because it's a truth there, right? There's a truth there inside of you. There can also be some lies there as well, you know? And Scorpio is an energy that is known for keeping things hidden, right? And so is the moon. The moon is exalted in Taurus, right? And the moon is hidden issues, hidden things. Scorpio knows a thing or two about hiding things, right? Now, opposing this full moon in Scorpio, we are going to have Venus, who just transited into Taurus today. It's the 15th of May. And also, the sun is there, right? And Mercury. The sun is the ego, it's the creative will, it's the life force, it's the heart, it's the passion. Venus is the pleasure, Venus is the beauty, Venus is peace, Venus is comfort. So is Taurus. She's in her ruling, one of her signs that she rules. And Mercury is there too, so it's talking about communication. Communication and how comfortable we are with expressing ourselves, you know, by way of communication. Also, I would say that with Mercury being there, it's talking about travel, right? Traveling to places that we probably feel secure in, right? Going to places, right? Externally and internally that make us feel secure, that make us feel safe, one with ourselves. You know, Taurus likes to feel safe. They like to build the stability and the security to make themselves feel safe. And, you know, that's how they protect, right? Through creating those boundaries and healthy boundaries. What healthy boundaries are you creating for yourself? Physically, right? Mentally, emotionally, even in terms of like, you know, spiritually, like toxic people, not letting them in, you know, not letting people fuck with you and like what you got going on and how you're going to create things for yourself, you know, because people will try to get in the way of what you try to build for yourself, you know, because of jealousy, right? Because Taurus likes to build and Scorpio, you know, it likes to control. So some, you know, all of us are have that Scorpio energy somewhere, right? So we all know it. We all know what it's like to question whether or not we might be jealous of something or someone or something, like, you know, or whether other people are as well. So, you know, the inability to control what someone has could spark jealousy in someone, right? And that's a need to control someone else and what they might have that you don't. And that's toxic, you know? So then you have to build up these systems of protecting yourself, which, you know, Scorpio is a water sign that's ruled by Mars, and Mars is aggression. It's how, you know, you express yourself through anger and action and just drive, and also passions too. Because, you know, Scorpio rules the genitalia, so they often like to have a lot of sex, with a lot of people, and if not a lot of people, just a lot of sex. But usually it's with a lot of people or different people, and if it's not like that, they like to do different things, you know. There might be something hidden that sort of even amplifies their sexual nature, if it's not anything crazy like having different sexual partners. I have Scorpio in my first house. I'm a double Libra, but my rising has, you know, 2/3 Libra and 1/3 Scorpio. And I have Saturn in Scorpio, so you know, I know that energy. And also I have Pluto in my first house in Libra, so that's also one of the rulers of this full moon, Mars and Pluto, right? Yeah, so Pluto is power. Pluto is, you know, releasing anger, feelings of resentment, regret as well, not being able to change things from the past, you know. And that's just because, you know, it's like the fear of letting go, because you don't know what it's going to show you or reveal to you. It's kind of like going outside of those boundaries, those emotional, like, fortifications that you've built, right? And Taurus stepping outside of, you know, the farm gates or whatever, and seeing whatever is there. I mean, there's probably a land that Taurus wants to explore there, right? If they could get out of that comfort zone of just being in one place all the time. So we are all kind of like breaking out of our comfort zones in many different ways, and not just physically through where we go or what we see or what we do, what we eat, the people that we know, the people that we involve ourselves with. We're meeting new people. We're all transforming in different ways, you know what I mean? And because Scorpio wants us to transform, and then Taurus wants us to stay. It wants us to be fixed. They're both fixed. So there's a challenge with the Scorpio full moon. What are you willing to let go of that you always wanted to, you know, that you were probably obsessing over? It's almost kind of like asking us to let some things flow as well. But there really isn't. The only flow there is here with this moon really is, you know, the Scorpio moon, and that Scorpio doesn't want to allow the moon to flow because it's fixed, right? It wants that water to freeze up, or it wants that water to be contained tightly in a bottle or in a bowl so that it can't go anywhere. So this could be you guys not really expressing yourselves as well or as much, but you know, that's going to change once we get into that Gemini season. You may not be able to express yourself as much as you want to now, or maybe there might not be some things that, you know, are unclear to you, you know, but after the Scorpio full moon, those things will be revealed, okay? And I think that you guys will be able to then express yourselves more openly in terms of, you know, because you won't have that fogginess, right? You won't be suffocating by, you know, with all the water and the drowning in the emotional process. Like, you know, Saturn and Pluto being conjunct in Capricorn and being retrograde, like, I get it. It's kind of like rough, but like I am used to it because I have Saturn and Pluto in my first house of self, my identity. So I've always worked with Saturn and Pluto energy, very dense, related to power struggles, karmic lessons that you have to learn over and over again until you learn them, being rewarded for the lessons that you learn karmically, paying off karmic debts, ancestral karma, all of that shit. You know what I mean? Because there are some things you can't control, like ancestral karma, you know, if you believe in that, right? Because it's talking about belief systems too, because it is how you look at it, how you view it, right? How does it affect you? If you let it get in those boundaries, then it can affect you. But if you keep it out, then it's not going to affect you, right? So there's balance here too with the full moon and it being, you know, two signs obviously that are opposing each other. Venus is ruling the season right now, and Mars and Pluto are going to be ruling this full moon. And the moon is related to this season as well, obviously. Twofold. All right, so I think that I'm gonna go ahead and go. Jupiter's retrograde right now in Sagittarius, of course, so you know, we might just be kind of like us taking a step back and looking at how we can expand and looking at the possibilities, you know, and how we have adapted to changes by way of anticipating expansion and growth, you know, because we all want to grow. We all want to like become better people or better at what we do, especially if it has to do with like career or professionalism. We definitely want to make more money. We want to be more powerful, right? And it's not about controlling other people. It really is just being powerful within ourselves and being able to control what we have, what we desire. Wow, this is a very scorpionic experience right now. Okay. You guys like, comment, share, subscribe. If you want a reading from me, email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram, Providence Tarot, NYC Kendrick, Kendrick NYC. The tongue pop. Hopefully my volume is high enough because I just recorded a shit ton of videos. And if it's not up, I'm going to feel so upset about it. Anyway, I won't be. I'm easy. So, yeah.
Good evening. I need a favor, if possible.
What's that?
I can't drive. I'll be $7 to get home. I need my cell phone, my ID. I need to get some out of it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't help.
Off the road, man.
I'm sorry. Right? So, you know, it's just really about that. It's about, you know, power. It's about control. It's about creating healthy boundaries. Just like that. Very Scorpio. Very Scorpio. He was drunk and he needed some money. Other people's money. Right? This is such a crazy night because the moon is in Libra. And I think I might have had something, but definitely not. You just walked up on me like that, leaning on people's cars, hiccuping all as you walk down the street. No, thank you, sir. I said no, no, no. I said no, no. Anyway, he interrupted me. Like, share, and subscribe, you guys. Okay? Comment. Let's keep the chat open. The weeklies are going up. Okay?